Hello, I'm back. Don't be scared. Today I decided to make a video that is on light. I prepared a specific setup, I would say, with a card box and a lamp, a purple lamp. And I will play with the light as I read you a story. And even if it looks a little bit strange, I hope that you will enjoy as a comeback for Christmas to give you a comforting light to look at, and as a visual trigger and a story that I've written. It is for you, of course, for the Lord mostly and completely, and for a friend, Julia. Thank you for believing in me. I have it here written down. Took me a while. And in the meantime, as I read for you, I will also play with the light with this. That is why I told you not to be scared. It's not a creepy video. It's beautiful. This is dolphins. It's my friends. It is something that in Italy is very famous. Before the glass is finished, the artist, I would say, pickles inside before it stops completely, and does this micro dots inside the molten glass to produce these beautiful images. Some of them are made industrially, I would say, but this one was specifically made in Venice by an actual artisan, an artist. That is why there's no name, nothing going on. As you can see, nothing is written. There's no made in or anything. You just made it, and that sold it specifically to my friend. So I wanted to play with the lights like this in a beautiful, beautiful effect with the dolphins while I read for you. So my friend Julia requested a beautiful, actually it's not really requested, I think it was a suggestion, yeah. Suggestion is the right word. And I thought, I have another video that I made, but I thought, what best is before Christmas to gift somebody with a story that hopefully will touch them, but also will touch others. As a gift for Christmas, right? The other one is more normal with comfy lights. You know, one of my normal stories that I like to write. This one was made specifically for Julia, but I hope that you will enjoy as well, because as always, my stories are written for the Lord, taken from the Bible as inspiration. So, this story is based from 1st of Corinthians 13. Julia has spoken to me on why, and I won't say it, of course, but hopefully you will enjoy. It's a very cheap card box on top of the lamp. It's very strange, isn't it? But it works. Because otherwise it would have been too strong. So, there we go. I titled the story "The Lantern on Maple Street." Alex had grown up in a house where the word love was strewn around like spare change. Easy to spend, quick to lose. Never enough to buy anything real. His dad left when he was 9. His mother worked doubles and came home too tired to talk. Friends came and went depending on what he could offer. Girlfriends measured his worth in late-night texts and weekend plans. By 28, Alex knew hunger better than he knew love. He chased it in bars, in beds, in the roar of approval from strangers. Every time he thought he'd found it, morning came and the emptiness was still there, louder than before. One rainy Thursday, he wandered into a little church on Maple Street. Because the door was opened and he was soaked. He sat in the back row, dripping on the carpet, half hoping no one would notice him. An older woman handed him a towel without a word. The pastor was preaching on 1 Corinthians 13, and Alex had never heard it before. And the pastor said, "Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy, and it does not boast. It is not proud." The words hit him like a foreign music. Beautiful, but he didn't know the language. Patient, kind. It spent years being urgent and sharp, longing for whatever scraps of affection he could grab before they vanished. This sounded impossible, unreal. He left before the final hymn, convinced it was all poetry for people who'd never been broke or abandoned. But the words stuck. They itched. 6 months later, he came back. Not because he believed it yet, but because he was tired of running. He started showing up on Sundays, sitting in the same pew, listening. The one winter the church boiler died. The building was freezing. The pastor announced they have to cancel services until it was fixed. Alex, who'd been quietly coming for weeks, heard himself speak. "I know a guy who fixes heaters. I'll call him." He didn't know why he offered, but he just did. The guy owed Alex a favor from years back and came the next day. He'd return it. People thanked Alex. He'd done something almost heroic to them. But he shrugged it off. He was embarrassed. And yet something else shifted inside him. For the first time, he'd given something without expecting anything back. And nobody left. And then spring came. There was an old man named Mr. Ellis, who sat 2 rows ahead of Alex every Sunday. Widowed, half-deaf, always alone. One Sunday after service, Alex noticed Mr. Ellis struggling with his coat buttons. Once again, without thinking, Alex walked. He walked over and buttoned it for him. Mr. Ellis looked up, surprised, his eyes wet. "Thank you, son." And that was all. Alex felt something warm spread in his chest, unfamiliar and strong. From then on, Alex started small experiments in this thing called love. He moved the lawn for the single mom next door to the church when she worked late shifts. He sat with Mr. Ellis after service and listened to the same war stories every week without rushing him. When a teenager in the youth group got caught stealing, Alex didn't condemn him. He shared his own terrible past and said, "I get it, but you are not alone anymore." None of it was traumatic. Nobody threw parades. But every time Alex chose patience over anger, kindness over convenience, humility over pride, something in him healed a little more. He began to recognize the shape of love, not because it was poured on him first, but because he started pouring it out. One night, he sat alone in his apartment, Bible open in 1 Corinthians 13 again. This time, the words didn't sound foreign. This time, the words did not sound strange. They sounded like instructions. They sounded like the instructions he'd been living recently, clumsy and imperfect, but was still living. He flipped a few pages and landed on 1 John 4:10. This is love. Not that we loved God, but that He loved us and sent His Son as an atoning sacrifice for our sins. So Alex put down the book and cried like a child. All this time, he'd been practicing love in tiny, stubborn acts, believing he was the one doing the giving, when really God had loved him first. Before Alex even lifted a finger. The cross was not poetry. It was proof. The most incredible act of love in history. And he had been chasing Alex for his whole life. And so he whispered into the quiet room, I get it now. I am sorry. But somehow he knew that an apology was not needed. Years later, people on Maple Street would say the little church felt different, warmer somehow. They point to the pastors preaching or the music or the coffee. But Alex knew the truth. Love had moved in, one reluctant and imperfect heart at a time. And once it takes roots, it spreads. Alex will read the Bible again and again. And he would read the 1st of Corinthians 13 often. Not because he had found the solution to his life or he had arrived somewhere, but because he never wants to forget his way home. The end. I hope that you liked this video, and I will see you in a few days, I think 2 or 3, as I have scheduled the next video. I am finally back. Sleep well. Merry Christmas. I will not wish you Happy New Year so early, because I will see you soon. And I hope that you enjoy the story. The video will repeat with less light so that you can relax. I'll see you soon.